He's laughing for the record off screen. No, have you ever thought about that? Obviously, that's not what you'd endeavor to do, but we like thinking of fun side projects.
Absolutely. I mean, for me personally, creativity is the variable. So if you think of it as a business, what's more profitable as a business? Opening a food truck, having actual inventory, having a truck, having to worry about supplies coming in, coming out, people working the food truck. I mean, there's a lot of stress. Sure. And then whenever you run the numbers, you're like, it becomes ROI positive when you have 15, 20 trucks all around. And then you start to, once you multiply to like 50, like that's when it becomes super ROI positive. Or can I focus my time on how do I push the boundaries with recipes to make them easier to make, using higher and higher quality ingredients, better macronutrient profile, and be able to expand that across all different types of macros. If somebody has 400 grams of carbs, 600 grams of carbs, 200 grams of carbs, 100, and like, or fat preferences, like, and thinking of it that way, like, what's the best use of my time?
Yeah.
And so and my resources. And so now as a company, like, we've spent our money allowing me just to be creative all damn day.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, I can just wake up and obviously I have things I got to do. I got to write. But it's all creative based. There's no more doing shit that I don't want to do. And that's been cool. So for me, if I wanted to open a food truck, which is like, there's so much demand for it, we've been offered a lot of money to do it. It'll be more pop-ups. I can say that we're going to be doing that. We're going to be collabing with a lot of food trucks around the country.
So it's already going to happen. So you don't want to reveal your.
I don't care. I mean, I'll reveal anything. But I think if we did it, it would be based around really unique, cool foods. Yeah. But also it would be macronutrient based. Like, you would go there and you'd understand what the macros are with which you have.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And then you're able to customize and have. I hate going to a place and saying, "Oh, but I want a burger, but this is only how the burger is made." No, but like, what if I want to throw an egg on it? What if I want to like mess with the macronutrient profile? And like, how can I change that? And so if I had a food truck, it would be based around, we'd probably have an app that would be able to just plug and play.
Just like, really hypothetical stuff that's totally not already in the works.
No, but it would be cool. Like, that's something we definitely want to, in the 3 to 5 year plan, have a pop-up small restaurant. We want to have food trucks. Like, it would be cool. And obviously as a business, it's very beneficial if we want to help that bottom line and we're not looking to make a ton of money off of that.
No.
And we're using it for branding.
Sure, passion project.
Yeah, that becomes like, oh wow, we're not paying as much in taxes because we're opening these things and they become write-offs for us. So it's just another way to build the brand. And when you see companies doing this, I don't think, when you open a gym, for example, you're not doing it to make money. You're doing it really because you love it. You're building brand, and you better try and make a lot more money doing something else if you want to make more money.
But that stuff seems so simple to maybe the three of us, because we're all in a similar world, right? We have our hands in a couple cookie jars, but majority of our stuff's obviously online, content-based, and then businesses underneath. But like, to the world, until I was probably 23 and started diving into any kind of e-com or marketing or anything, like, some of it, I think 90% of the world doesn't get that.
They don't.
That it's business or marketing or like little things, like even the dumbest thing, 22-year-old Mike sees it, overstock sale or something. I'm like, oh my God, how did they get overstock? I'm going to go get these deals on these sneakers. But like, oh, bitch, you tricked me. You didn't have an overstock. You want to get rid of this. Is your shit shoe. Like, this is your shitty shoe you're trying to get rid of.
They have new inventory coming in. They got to move.
But I still think adults don't know. And maybe I'm thinking the world's too naive, but I don't think they know.
No, I mean, it's well, think of how I don't know how Canada is, but our public school system. It's so interesting.
We don't have one of those.
Yeah.
Who's saying how shitty ours is?
Yeah,
and yours is pretty good.
It's bad. Yeah. It's really bad. And when you look at the history of, and I'm fascinated by like human psychology, like why we do what we do, and when you look back into why the public school system was created,
it's German for people being subservient.
Oh, yeah. So in 1918, there was this huge, well, that's when the law was passed, but in the late 1800s, early 1900s, there was an epidemic of child labor. So young kids were being employed to work in these factories. All, the top 50 companies all were factory based. And so the government goes to these companies like, hey, like you need to stop employing all these kids. And they're like, why? You can't stop us. It's a lot cheaper for us. And if we have to employ these 18 and ups, then we're going to go out of business. So what they did was they're like, okay, what if we made a law that made these children go to school, and whenever they got out of school at 18, they were amazing workers. And we still have that same system today.
It's like technically illegal not to go to school, yeah?
Yeah. So
it's kind of weird.
And we're moving towards getting away from that because we're not teaching kids to think. We're teaching the kids how to
to obey.
Memorize.
Yeah, when you think about it, like you're like, oh, like you're going to school today, like all your friends are gonna be there, and then like you're sitting in class, you're like, hey, what's up, man? And then she's just like, stop talking to your friend. You're like, what the hell? And then you're like looking off, and like you're thinking of something cool, and then you're like, pay attention, and then like you ask a question, and they're like, stop asking questions like that, and so like you're taught
they
to
condition you.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, no social skills, no movement skills, no body awareness, plus no like applicable shit.
Nothing.
Right? You start talking like fucking taxes or fucking whatever. Like that's a harsh
things
reality.
they could actually.
Or like even like basic marketing. Like, hey, that's not overstock, Mike. You fucking idiot. Don't be fooled anymore. You know, like, but really though, like taxes or shit. Like, God forbid someone passes away in your life. Like, the filing
the
some of
process
that.
of grieving.
Grieving. Sure, emotional stuff would be great too. But I even mean like,
for sure,
dude,
Mike.
How many fucking papers you got to go through on like dog shit like that? Like, goddamn, I wish I would have learned something.
Why you sounding so Italian right now? Like for the last do you even how you have the microphone and stuff? You
told me we're having pizza for dinner. So
that's true. I liked it though.
I've been drooling pepperoni.
I was
ever
sitting
since.
on the couch with you. Well, it's like, this is fucked up stuff. I agree.
Fuck, bow, hey, dude.
You know what I was gonna say is that is absolutely true. I would say it's similar in Canada, how it's done. Except I did have an unfortunate positive in my life, and that was my mom, who I was told, like my report card would say, like whatever, blah, 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 here are the grades. It's like needs improvement when it comes to listening to the teacher and not talking in class. And I remember my mom went in there, and there's just one teacher. Like it's a power struggle more than, as you kind of were alluding to, helping kids to actually learn, to function, and all those things. Where she's crotchety, for lack of a better word, and she liked having the kids. Like I don't want to say it was a sick relationship, but she liked where all the kids were obedient and looked up to her. You know what I mean? And I just thought, I'm like, well, you're fucking whack, whatever. So I'm in grade school, but yeah, she said the same thing, like Omar needs to stop talking or whatever, like goofing off or any of that stuff. And my mom wrote back in the report card, because you have a section like leave comments and you give it back to the teacher to prove that you show your parents your report card. And my mom's opening line was, Omar marches to the beat of his own drum and will always march to the beat of his own drum. I was like, oh! So it's like I basically just got permission to do whatever the fuck I wanted, you know? I was like, whatever.
That's dope.
Whatever.
I forgot who said it.
You can't tell me shit.
Someone said we spend the first 3 years teaching our kids how to talk and how to walk, and then the rest 18 years teaching them how to sit down and shut the fuck up. Yeah. And you're like, like that's literally what our school system does. So you shut the fuck up, sit back down for 8 hours a day, which is not a good condition to learn in, let alone be a human in. And that's literally what our whole system is built on.
Well, think about the type of, there's some great teachers out there.
Sure.
But it's few and far between. Think of the pay of the teachers and think what that's going to attract. Like, honestly, like if you want to pay, like if you want a great school system, you got to pay for professionals who are going to spend the time to be professionals. But if you pay for below average, you have a below, for babysitters.
Why are you surprised if you get below average?
Like that's really it. And so when you look at it, like I think of the people that are teachers at my old high school that I went to school with. I'm like, how are these people teachers right now? I'm like, and then when I was in school, I was like, this teacher sucks. But I'm like, everybody's like, oh, but they're a teacher. Like you got to respect them. But now I'm like,
I was right.
Yeah, I was like, like they did suck.
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder what the pay is in Toronto compared to here.
Good, actually.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
By and large, I would say, Mike, that my schooling experience, with that being said, I did enjoy overall my schooling experience for what it was compared to other stories that I did here. And I would say, I don't know concrete numbers, but I think teachers relative, at least in Toronto, where I'm from in Canada, compared to numbers that, Mike, you've told me how much teachers get paid. They definitely get paid more in Canada, relative even to the currency conversion and that standard of living.
Yeah, I think there's two big issues. One is the pay and the type of teachers you have. And you can't force someone to care about their job. That's a whole nother fucking world issue, right? Like, hopefully people will end up in a situation, topic, job, career that they love, and so then they're going to care about it more. Which how's the teacher to find that out? Because that's part of the vicious circle, because you're in school and you don't find out what you actually love, right? You're just getting forced everything. And then two, I think it's actual curriculum, which I'd imagine Canada's the same as us, and that's the same issue. It's like you said, you're just teaching people to memorize. Like, you're just teaching people to read a textbook, regurgitate it.
We have a phone in our hands that we can Google. If you can Google it, we don't need to learn it in school.
And even before that, though, I think even in the 90s and 80s, when you couldn't Google, like you're learning all these random facts, and not that you shouldn't learn history and some numbers.
Like, why are you learning?
And why can't we teach? And I don't know how to do it. And my school was weird, and they tried to do it, and I think they did a good job of it. But you try to teach them how to think about a topic, right? How can you learn? How can you be a little bit creative? And creativity, when other people might hear about it, like, oh, well, we don't want a bunch of people drawing, but creativity doesn't just come through drawing. Like, creative thought, meaning you hear this, and
even critical thinking.
Critical thinking, I guess, is would be the term. But creativity, where you can think, for yourself, but also, okay, if this happens, well, what if this or what if that, and keep a little bit of imagination, even when it comes to more concrete topics. Like, there can be imagination in business, there could be imagination in accounting, there can be imagination in math in a way, and that's kind of what my weird school is. We had art class in math. I should dive in one day. I'll show you some shit, Omar. I'll blow your mind.
Blow my mind, bro. I'm ready.
I'll blow your mind, bro.
But speaking of things that are about to blow my mind, Zach, I heard you're a huge fan of the upcoming Space Force.